Vanishing folklore and beliefs. Whom the King Honors. From Korean Folktales, public domain reading. Whom the King Honors. In the days of King Sejong, students of the Confucian College were having a picnic to celebrate the spring festival. They met in a wood to the north of the college near a beautiful spring of water, and were drinking and feasting the night through. While they were thus enjoying themselves, the rooms of the college were left deserted. One student from the countryside, a backwoodsman in his way, who was of no account to the others, thought that while the rest went away to enjoy themselves, someone ought to stay behind to guard the sacred precincts of the temple. So he decided that he would forego the pleasures of the picnic, stay behind, and watch. The king at that time sent a eunuch to the college to see how many of the students had remained on guard. The eunuch returned, saying that all had gone off on the picnic except for one man, a raw countryman, who was in sole charge. The king at once sent for the man, asking him to come just as he was in his common clothes. On his arrival, his majesty asked, "When all have gone off for a gay time, why is it that you remain alone?" He replied, "I too would like to have gone, but to leave the sacred temple wholly deserted did not seem right to me, so I stayed." The king was greatly pleased with this reply and asked again, "Do you know how to write verses?" The reply was, "I know only very little about it." The king then said, "I have 1/2 of a verse here, which runs thus: After the rains, the mountains weep. You, write me a mate for this line to go with it." At once the student replied, "Before the wind, the grass is tipsy." The king, delighted, praised him for his skill, and made him a special graduate on the spot, gave him a diploma, flowers for his hat, and issued a proclamation saying that he had passed the Al-Song examination. At once he ordered for him the headgear, the red coat, a horse to ride on, 2 boys to go before him, flute players and harpers, saying, "Go now to the picnic party and show yourself." While the picnickers were thus engaged, suddenly they heard the sounds of the flutes and the harps, and they questioned as to what it could mean. This was not the time for new graduates to go abroad. While they looked, behold, here came a victorious candidate, dressed in ceremonial robes, heralded by boys, and riding on the king's palfrey to greet them. On closer view, though, they realized that it was the uncouth countryman whom they had left behind at the temple. They asked what it meant, and then learned to their amazement that the king had so honored him. The company, in consternation and surprise, broke up and returned home at once. This special graduate became later, through the favor of the king, a great and noted man. If you enjoyed this reading, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you. vanishing folklore and beliefs.